we can talk to companies, whether they're at six figures, whether they're brick and mortar and they want to go online, whether people are already online, but they want to take their brand and help it rise above the noise. Because we see this, both of us, there's people starting brands and going online like every single day. People are building brands or social media agencies, but very few actually rise above the noise. So if you were working with a small group of entrepreneurs, what would those tactics and steps you would give them be to really make sure when they build a brand, it has the right foundation? It's strong, it's going to rise above the noise and actually have longevity and be there 10, 20 years from now.
Yes, I love this question. So right away, the first thought I have is content creation and adding another part to that, consistent content creation. I've looked at every single mentor that has helped me get to where I am today. And there's about 5 of them, and each of them have something in common. They are producing content, original content on a weekly basis. One of them is producing a weekly blog and has for years and years and years. Another, a weekly newsletter. Another, a video show. So you have some options there, but if you're not creating original content, in my opinion, on a weekly basis, it's very easy to get lost in the noise online. So that consistency is the number one thing I think that pushes you above everyone else. Everyone else is going to get tired. They're going to chase that next shiny object. They're going to think, well, this isn't working, I'm going to move on to the next thing. Do not stop. Believe me, it makes a huge difference.
You're huge with content too. And you talked about once a week. Do you feel like that's the sweet spot, like bare minimum once a week?
I do. I know other people that do it more, and they're actually higher in the iTunes charts than I am, and they have bigger audiences. So if you could do it more, do it. But also, you and I talked before we went on camera about lifestyle, and that would totally deplete my lifestyle if I was doing more than once a week. But I'll tell you really quickly, I have a podcast, and I started it many years ago. And in the first year, I did maybe one a month. I didn't have any consistency. Wow. I wasn't really thinking it was a core thing in my business, and I didn't make time for it. And so I met with a friend of mine, and he said, you have to do it weekly or you're never going to see that traction you're looking for. I changed it in that moment, and I would never look back. Like, we never miss an episode, rain or shine. It makes a huge difference, especially podcast and video.
Well, you know why I love entrepreneurship, Amy, just thinking about it, it kind of forces you to level up as a human being and be consistent. It forces you to level up. A lot of times in jobs, you get complacent, the paycheck's coming, you don't challenge yourself. In entrepreneurship, if you don't challenge yourself and stay consistent, you don't eat. Is there anything, Amy, that you wish people would ask you more that you don't talk about a lot, that you're like, why don't they ask me about this? Is there anything that really you're passionate about that you want to share that you kind of fall asleep at night thinking about for entrepreneurs that you're just like, I wish you would get this? Is there anything like that you kind of been toying with?
So it's not really a question, but it's a huge mistake I see all the time. And even with some of my friends where I don't say a word because it's not my business. However, I think that most of us need to stop chasing a million different things. One of my secrets to success is I'm a very simple marketer in the sense that I have just a few things. 95% of my revenue comes from my own online courses, and I've got 3 of them, and that's all. And so I think that I have this friend, let me tell you a quick story. I have this friend who she's trying to grow her coaching business, but every day she's on social media saying something like, I think I'm going to start a journal. Do you guys think you would like to buy a journal from me? The next day, I think I'm going to start a YouTube channel. Would you guys like that? The next day, I think I'm going to do a live event and I'm just going to do it impromptu and blah, blah, blah. And I want to say, how's your coaching business going? And have you gotten that off the ground yet? You've got to stay on one thing and make it great. And you're going to be known for that one thing. If you feel like you're never known for anything, it's because you're spread too thin and people don't know what the heck you should be known for. And so back in the day, I was known for Facebook marketing because that's all I talked about, all I did. I've since pivoted my business, which again, how your business looks today doesn't mean it's going to look like that years from now. I've pivoted to more of webinars, courses, and list building. But that is what I'm known for because that's what I talk about all the time.
So listen, guys, she's crushing it. She's happy. She's fulfilled. She has a great family life. She has a great lifestyle, and she doesn't have a million videos on YouTube. She's not crushing it maybe on Snapchat or on LinkedIn. I just want people to understand that you can pick 1 or 2 platforms and you don't have to ride the wave of all the new, I don't want to say names, Amy, but a lot of people, they talk about that hustle, grind, be hustling all day, be on every platform. It's like, I don't want to be 40, 50, 60, working 80 hours, never seeing my kids, not being able to coach their basketball games. You know what I mean? So it's good that we have someone like you that's refreshing, where you're crushing it. You have financial freedom. You love your life, and you're not on every platform every single day. So I like that. I want to talk about hiring, because you talked about how you made a pretty big hire within the last couple months. And I see people doing it the wrong way, where they hire too fast, they fire slow, they're not really intentional with who they hire. Everyone, I think, needs to have a great hiring process in order to scale up, make more money, and build a lifestyle. So what are your thoughts on hiring, and have they changed since the past?
Oh yeah, I've made so many mistakes on hiring. It's just not even funny. However, one thing, so over the last year, we have built up our team. I have 6 people. 5 of them are full-time now, like on payroll and everything like that, which is very scary. One of the things with hiring is it is a scary process. I totally get it. And you think, am I going to be able to afford them? Am I going to give them enough work? All that good stuff. Hire smart in the sense of one person at a time. I think that we all need to start with a VA. It's an easy place to start. There's enough for a VA that can do even 10 hours a week. But my most important hire that I've ever made was a project manager. Now, a project manager works for me because I create online courses and do online launches. You've got to decide what's that perfect position that you would love to hire, and that's what you're going to move toward. You might not be able to hire them just yet, but get very clear who would be on your team that would just kick butt. Chloe's on my team, my project manager. She's been with me 3 years now. I can't even imagine a day without her. And the reason why it's worked is I finally got to the point that I said, I'm going to pay somebody what they deserve. So she's very happy with their pay. This took a little while for me to get to, and I've given her raises through the years, so I didn't start her really high. And number 2, I'm going to give up some of the work. And as entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, we hold really tight to everything. We're like the worst micromanagers in that sense because it's our baby. Like, this business of mine is my baby, but you have to give up some of that in order to let somebody really shine in the position. So that was for me. I figured out my hire I had to have. And then from there, I hired more, but I started with her and started slowly.
So defining what you need, first of all, and
Yes.
knowing that you have to give some stuff up. As far as the training process, obviously it changes based on the position. But what's your training process as far as, if you could just walk through the tactics, like first day, like,
Yes.
I guess the net that they have to go through to get hired, and then the training process.
Okay, great. So let's use, I have a digital coordinator. She runs my podcast. Let's use her as an example. She was hired 90 days ago. And when she first got hired, she had to go through all of my courses, which took about a month. She watched the webinars, she read all the emails and the promo, and then she went through all of my courses. So for 30 days, we did not touch her in terms of making her do stuff. So that was big. Someone needed to know my business, know my voice. From there, then she started to learn how to manage projects with somebody. So we didn't have her kind of figure it out on her own. And believe me, I've made mistakes with training in the past. So on 30 to 60 days, she would get into Asana, which is our project management tool, and we would walk her through literally every single task she'd be doing, explaining the why, who the players are, and what she actually has to do. So we did a lot of hand-holding from 30 to 60 days. In the 90-day period, we let her go out on her own, but we had regular meetings. 2 to 3 times a week, we would meet with her, answer any questions she might have had. Now, something we just started to do that's been really effective is we give 30, 60, and 90-day reviews. And so that was a big thing too, because we had constant communication. We had to set the expectations and then let her know if she's hitting them or not. So 30, 60, 90 days reviews, that's something else that we do with every player on our team.
What I like about you is everything's very simple. You don't overcomplicate. I see a lot of people overcomplicating things just to sound more complex, and then people are confused. They can't listen to them. So
I'm never consistent. When it's complicated, I lose my steam in it as well. One thing I forgot to mention though in the hiring is I really do hire for personality more so than skill set. And that was a big learning for me as well. Tony, who runs my podcast, has never run a podcast in her entire life, but she was an event planner. So she had the skills to manage a project. It just didn't translate perfectly. However, I love this girl. Yes, totally hungry. She was ready to go. She was a lot of fun. And fun is a big part of my team. That it hasn't always been that way, but over the last year, I need more fun on this team. And so I hire people that are going to have a really good time together. So personality has become huge, and we do Myers-Briggs. Every position, we figure out the Myers-Briggs we're looking for, and then we have people actually take the test.
So you don't hire randomly? It's actually strategic and intentional?
Yes. And if I had it my way, we would only hire referrals. Everyone on my team right now is a referral. Everyone that I hired and had to fire fast came randomly into the business. So I haven't had much luck with that, but I think it can be done. You just got to be smart.
So people always want to know like where to hire. Is it LinkedIn, Facebook? So you really focus. I think if I think about my team, almost all of them are from referrals, or they're from reaching out to me and saying, I want to work for you.
Yeah, that's
like, I didn't really put any ads for any of the people on my team right now, which is crazy.
Yes, I love that. I mean, there's tons of sites you could do, and we've tried them all, but I build out the job description and I send it to every peer that I have that might know somebody. And so that's basically, I do some good outreach.
Love it. That's huge.